Welcome back, everybody, to Invested Intelligence. Interesting times. The SEC has issued a Wells notice to Coinbase. For those of you that aren't aware of what a Wells notice is, it's basically the SEC saying, we believe that you have committed these violations. They send the Wells notice, and then the company has 30 days to effectively go through that, explain why that's not the case. And if the SEC isn't happy with that explanation, then they'll sort of proceed with legal action. It's also worth noting that 60 to 70% of the time when the SEC issues a Wells notice, they do generally tend to move forward with legal action. But what I find so interesting about this is if we just scroll down a little bit further in this article, Adam Cochran has basically said if Coinbase does indeed choose to fight the SEC as they are saying they will, then I'm moving all my purchases to Coinbase, moving all my trading to Coinbase, delegating to Coinbase staking nodes. If they go to bat for this industry, I'll vote with my wallet. Absolutely love it, right? Nosh has basically said, I'm not a fan of Coinbase at all, but I support their fight against the SEC after approving Coinbase's S1 filing 2 years ago, which references staking 56 plus times. They decide to hit them with a Wells notice now. And what effectively Nosh is saying is Coinbase, they went through this whole palaver with the SEC when they issued their filings and explained everything in detail, and the SEC basically coming now and saying, well, we're not really happy with everything. Here's a Wells notice. Explain yourself. Makes absolutely no sense. And to be honest, Coinbase have absolutely 100% legal leg to stand on, and I just see no reason whatsoever, for Coinbase not to attack this head on. And I really don't believe that they're going to come out worse off for this. And in fact, I think the SEC has made a massive mistake in doing this, because again, they're pushing people to band together, and this is why we're getting rallies. The financial institutions around the world, they're basically crumbling and collapsing. The banking sector is not working properly, and Bitcoin's rallying, right? You are in a situation, or we're in a situation, where we can see every time these regulatory bodies, right, are pushing and pushing and pushing to try and make cryptocurrency worse, it seems to be getting better and better. So I am very, very happy that we are finally at a moment in time where cryptocurrency is getting, attention that it needs in a positive way. There's a lot of things going on. You have, senators that are basically passing bills to say, nope, we're not going to allow you to have CBDCs in our state. And I know it's only a state thing. And ultimately the bigger decision is going to be made sort of, nationwide in the US, and I'm assuming all countries, obviously. But the fact that people are willing to stand up and fight about this is absolutely fantastic. So there's a couple of other articles I want to bring your attention to. Obviously, there's this one here from Watch Guru. So SEC sends Coinbase, Wells notice, warning of potential securities charges. This is an interesting article. I'm going to link this in the description below if you want to go and read this. And then just to kind of lighten the mood a little bit, Elon Musk permits user to visit Twitter HQ for 3 Doge. Look, you guys know I'm not a great fan of Dogecoin or Dogecoin, but I found this really, really funny. Tesla CEO and Twitter owner Elon Musk has allowed the Dogecoin focused handle Dodge Designer, so somebody called Dodge Designer, to visit the headquarters of the social giant. However, Musk said that visit would cost him an individual fee of 3 Doge, which is basically around about 23 cents at current rates. I absolutely love this. Again, I'm going to link this article in the description below before we get to the analysis. I wanted to go over this because this is the kind of stuff that I love. You never get away with stuff like this, in traditional, finance, or when you're engaging in traditional finance and talking to stiffs, let's just be honest. But Elon Musk has got a wicked sense of humor, and I thought this was, something that would be nice to share. So if we just go over to the analysis, we can see that Bitcoin, I'm going to go with it for 4 hours. So I just want to show you something. So we saw this drop yesterday off the rate announcement, and obviously that's effectively been reversed. This is fantastic. This is exactly what we want to see in terms of more upside. And if we go back up to the weekly chart, we can see the dip there. So if I just show you like this, I'll just bring this up a little bit. So you can see, the first initial dip here, really nice impulse last week, and then a little bit of a dip from yesterday, and then that's been reversed. And now we should start to see that weekly candle expand over the next 2 to 3 days. It would take something pretty dramatic to, get Bitcoin, all the way back down here at this point. So I am expecting, these levels up here, as I've been, sort of mentioning for a while, 29.5, around about sort of 29.5 to around about 30 to 394, somewhere in this area. Now that will be the key point. Once Bitcoin gets into this level, I'm not going to call it 100%, but I'm 95% sure that we're going to see 30K on Bitcoin, in the coming days and possibly week. And then when that happens, the reaction at that level will tell us pretty much everything that we need to know. So definitely want to keep an eye on, and obviously we're coming up into this area. This is a very, very strong level. We've, spent a lot of time at this level previously. I've already gone through this in a previous video. But then ultimately at this level, if it does get there, which I believe it will, the reaction or the pullback, I want to see Bitcoin pulling back to around about 28 to 27 and holding at that level showing some sort of confirmation, in terms of picking up buy side liquidity, and then we should be good for a 36 plus move. But again, as always with me, I like to see these things confirmation. I will be doing a Bitcoin study very, very soon. It's going to be an experiment. It will be in podcast form. I'm going to give details of all of that, once we get to the podcast side of things. So just keep an eye out for that. I'll obviously let you all know. I will post it in the Discord. The link's in the description below. LSPTV, which was what it used to be called. Now it's Invested Intelligence. So just make sure that you are in the Discord, and we should have something posted over the next, I'd say, three to 4 days, right? It's going to be very interesting. And for those of you that are interested in understanding investing on a practical level and, safely, it's definitely something that you want to keep an eye out for. Let's go over to Binance. And again, Binance, really strong push last week, all the way down, reversed, nice strong move to the upside. I know this is the monthly, but, really nice strong push lower, really nice strong push higher. We know all the reasons why cryptocurrency is moving higher at the moment, but the stabilization in this area around about 330 should give us enough pull to the upside to do one of two things. We're either going to run for 360, or if we don't run for 360, it will stay in this area and it will basically be waiting for either one of two things, something to happen on the Binance front or something to happen with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts to drop, then obviously Binance is going to follow suit. But so far, so good. Seems to be holding up pretty strong. Not as strong as Bitcoin at the moment. You guys know that I like to keep a very close eye on the relationship between Bitcoin and Binance, and sometimes how they decouple. One will slightly front run the other. Sometimes, doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes Binance will be the precursor to what happens on Bitcoin, and then other times, I'd say most of the time, Bitcoin will be the precursor to what happens with Binance and the whole cryptocurrency market. But again, not as strong. You can see very clearly, we had a drop yesterday with the rate announcement, and obviously the reversal or that kind of move back up isn't as strong as Binance, which does add credence to the fact that money is slightly flowing out of sort of Binance and potentially finding its way over to Bitcoin as that safer bet. But again, doesn't really change the full structure of anything too much. Still seeing a little bit of strength in cryptocurrency as a whole. But again, got to keep a very close eye on that 30K level up here. And with that said, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to speaking to you in the next update. All the best. Take care. Ciao for now.